welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that segment of Grace and I. And we're just going to jump right into this segment, which is Empowerment Cafe, because I'm super excited for today's topic. And I have a guest with me in studio. But before I introduce her, or I let her introduce herself, keep the conversations ongoing on all our social media platforms at Y254, or even on my socials at Wahomungai. So let's my guest today introduce herself and tell us more about her before even I introduce today's topic. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Please do tell us your name. Tell us something interesting about you.
Something interesting?
Yes.
I don't know. Anyway, my name is Beatrice Vike. I'm a journalist. But currently I'm doing Secretariat HR admin. Apart from that, part-time I do community work. Mostly we deal with girls from the slum areas. So I'm into charity work. Mostly we give out pads, we have feeding programs, so that's just a little bit of what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even as you have mentioned what you do part-time, which brings me to today's topic.
Okay.
So today's topic is community engagement and support. So I really like that you have something on the side other than being a journalist and the job you hold at the moment. So yeah, I repeat, today's topic is community engagement and support. So you mentioned you have a part-time. Does it have a name, or what exactly is it?
Yeah. So part-time I do what I've said, community work. I actually work with 3 organizations. 2 of them are registered. One of them is Nazarene for She. Nazarene for She is basically for giving out sanitary towels to girls in the slum areas. It's been around for 2 years. It wasn't really my idea to start Nazarene for She, although it came from a friend, Maureen Ochola. She's the CEO or the bearer of the idea. So she came to us as friends. We are a group of 10 members registered. So she came to us with the idea, we registered the group, and now it's been going on. And then we have Street Lilies. Also, I'm not the idea, the bearer of the idea as well. It's from a woman called Liz. She came up with the idea, but so far so good. We've done around 3 or 4 feeding programs so far, and it's going on so well. The third one is not actually registered, also just a group of friends from a Bible study group that we have. So one of our friends was like, why don't we do something like this? And then we tried. The pilot was very awesome. The turnout was good. It was smooth. So now we are thinking of doing another engagement like that, and also thinking about registering it.
So what has actually been caught my attention is the word Nazarene for She.
Yeah.
Nazarene for She.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned Maureen was
the bearer of the idea. Yeah.
Yes. She's a friend, right?
Yeah, she is.
So you have interacted with her multiple times.
Of course.
Would you have an idea why exactly she came up with that name? Because it is unique. See, this is a kawaida. It is unique.
Yeah, it is.
What exactly was the background
of the name?
Yes.
So from a church called Nazarene. It's a famous church, obviously, the one with Nazarene University. So we came up with the name because the members of the group are from different local churches. The churches are from Nazarene for She, so the branches. So, I mean Nazarene Church. So, being that people came from different local churches of Nazarene, so we came up with the name Nazarene, and then She, the woman we are impacting now from the society. Yeah.
Definitely. Ooh, so that's catchy. That is catchy. So, do tell us the goals and the mission of Nazarene for She, and what basically it stands for.
Like I said, Nazarene for She came up as a result of Maureen. She resides from the areas where these women are, and she saw the need for, as in having that kind of organization and giving out sanitary towels. At the moment when we are coming up together, we are like, but there's so many groups doing the same thing, giving out pads. Government is actually giving out pads in schools, but she was like, it can never be enough. You know, a helping hand. You don't have to look at what the other person is doing. So let us just start and then see how it goes. So when we started with a group of like 200 girls. We started in the church. We gave out pads in the church, and the group was so big. The next handout we gave, we went door to door seeking these girls. So when we went door to door is when we found the need. We saw like how these girls were suffering. We got to engage with them and knew exactly what they were going through, because some of the girls were telling us, even the parents, they were telling us sanitary towels is actually the least of their worries, because when a parent from a slum area, say Kibera, Kawangware, when they get like 200 bob, at the back of their mind, they're not thinking about pads.
Sure, it is the last thing on their mind.
Obviously. So they're thinking about food. So if you are going through that from this family, you need to find ways of making yourself comfortable during this time and period. So most girls were telling us they cut clothes, they cut, even others were telling us mattresses. Others told us they don't go to school altogether, because now if you don't have pads and you go with something that might actually give you a leakage, it's embarrassing. So when we saw that, is when we decided now this thing, we really need to run with it. So the friends that we were with, we decided now we don't have a donor yet. It's an idea we've come up with, so we need to fund. So at first we used to get money from our own pockets, and also well-wishers. You talk to a friend, tell them I have this idea, we are doing this kind of thing, would you want to be part of it?
You must have supportive
Yeah,
friends.
we do,
we do.
So at first, mtu atakwambia now I'll give you 2,500, I'll give you 2,000, I'll give you one box, I'll give you this. Some don't come through, obviously, but those who come through in a big way. So it was able to sustain whatever we were doing at that particular time. So the goals that we had, like I told you, when we engaged with these girls, we knew the need and we saw the need. So our goal was to like make sure that these girls have a supply of pads every single month, so that they don't have to worry about that at the end of the day, because others told us they get them from border guys who lure them into, you know, getting the pads, and then they have to pay in kind, if you know what I mean. So some of them got pregnant as a result of that. So we didn't want that happening. The goals, right?
Yes, the goals and the mission.
The mission. Now the mission, we want to empower these girl child. As much as we're giving out pads, we are in talks with some partners. We want to make sure that because some of them are not in school, some single mothers, young single mothers. So we wanted to make sure that these girls don't just stay at home and think about the situation and feel bad about themselves. So we want to come up with something they could do, which is probably a skill that could also go into getting them an income at the end of the day. So we also wanted to find machines that we could sew these reusable pads, because now there's that need, and sometimes we don't have that consistency in giving the pads. And you know, the girls need the pads every month.
Yeah.
So you can say like this month we're not giving because we don't have money. Now we wanted to get machines so that we could do the reusable pads, so that these girls have them all through. And as a result of that, they also have employment. So when they are doing these reusable pads, they use them as well as sell them.
So you've mentioned that this is an idea that has been generally there, because your company or organization is not the only one that is doing that particular, let's call it charity. So what makes your organization special? What makes it stand out from the rest? Because true to fact that it has been there multiple years. So what makes your organization stand out from the rest?
What makes us stand out? I would say it's you know, the idea was born by youths of the church, and I haven't seen so many churches do that. Maybe there is, but I haven't seen. Plus ours, we're just not looking to, you know, the idea of just giving pads. You see, we have a bigger perspective, a bigger picture. In the long run, we want these girls to have employment. In the long run, we want these girls to have somewhere they can go to, so that they're not just idle. We have single moms from the same group who we also give out to other charity organizations. we have an organization in our church, the church that I go to, called iMercy. It deals with young mothers. So when we get to interact with these girls, we give out pads, yes, but when we hear their stories, where they've come from, what they're going through, if she's pregnant in that moment, we refer them to iMercy. iMercy will work with this woman from the eotemia pregnancy to the time she'll give birth, up until the child is 20 years. So they support in terms of education, food. They have also feeding programs, education, food, and all that. If the maybe girls are going through maybe some mental issues as well, we also have other partners that we give out the girls to for the sake of, you know, yeah. So ours is not just giving out pads. Ours has a bigger perspective. It has a bigger picture.
So, and you had mentioned about machines.
Yeah.
So, meaning, do you produce, or in the future you would want to produce your own pads, right?
Yeah, reusable.
Reusable. So, currently, do you buy pads in bulk? Do you import pads that are ready-made, or do you have like a factory where you all manufacture your pads?
We don't have our own brand of pads currently. We buy, but mostly there was sometimes back we partnered with Softcare, not really partnership, but we went to them with the idea of what we are doing, and they gave us pads at a lower price, a much lower price. So those are the kind of benefits we get from out there. I wouldn't call them benefits, actually. It's them trying to be part of what we are doing. We have also people who come in as sponsors. We had a lady from the US the other day. She came to do her project. Her project was about period poverty. So she picked our group as, you know, the group that she's going to, as a case study. So she used our group as a case study. And then when she went back, she actually solicited funds for us and sent back, and then we bought pads in bulk that we've been giving out. So that's how we get our pads, through sponsorship. If we do not have, we have to go in our pockets and buy them.
So even talking about period poverty, it is a topic that is not talked about as much, because considering females have to buy sanitary towels and condoms are free. So will you advocate for it to be talked about more often than it is at the moment?
Yeah, of course. Actually, it's a conversation that need to have started long time ago. I don't get how condoms are free and pads are that expensive, even with the talk of it being taxed even more. It was just absurd, but pads actually need to be given out for free, if you asked me. Condoms need to be bought at a very high price, because that's pleasure. And pads, you don't have a choice. That's a cycle you have to go through every single month. So I guess pads should be given for free. Condoms need to be sold.
So, and even talking about period poverty, you know, you mentioned that your organization is not only just giving out pads, they offer various ways of, you know, supporting these young girls.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about, we just talk about period poverty, but we don't talk about what happens in the background.
Yeah.
Mental stability, period pains. How do you deal with that, even when you're talking to the girls and the young ladies you help?
Yeah, so we have mentors in the same group, just people who came to be part of what we were doing. So whenever we have a give out, like we've assembled all these girls, we have a person coming to talk to them about mental health issues. We have a person talking to them about period hygiene. So we have different people coming in with different, you know, from different aspects of this whole period thing. So they'll be talked to about mental health and not allowing people use them to get pads and everything. And also someone will talk to them about the hygiene, general hygiene when you are in your periods.
So I will read one comment here that has really caught my attention.
Okay.
It's from a young lady in Kakamega called Jane. So Jane asks, do you partner with doctors? Because her daughter has endometriosis, but she did not know about it till later on in life. So she was suffering silently. Do you partner with doctors?
So far, so good, no. We don't have any doctors we're partnering with, apart from just the mental health ones that come to talk to them about mental health. But it's something we are looking into. And going forward, we would love to also have doctors, because we had a case recently of a girl who, she was in school, she's young, she started her period, and she didn't know what to do because she stays with the dad, and she didn't know how to approach the dad with the issue. I don't know, maybe they have a strained relationship or something. So the girl went to school, she wore one pad for the whole session she was having a period, and she got infected, by the way. So how people came to know about it, she started stinging in school, and the teacher had to go and look and see what was happening, and found out that she had worn one pad the whole time she was. So no one was there to even tell her what to do. You know, so going forward, we would love to have doctors also come in and assess the girls. And because when we had the last session we had some very interesting questions from the girls. They were asking about cramps, those very, very painful cramps, and what you can do about them. And, you know, so we would love going forward to have doctors coming and talking to them and telling them things about also their period cycles.
So even in response to that, considering we live in a male-dominated area, space, which is generally slowly, actually not even slowly, it is rapidly changing, and that is a good thing.
Yeah.
So what will you advocate for the male species? Let's call them the male species here. What will you advocate for the male species to do in that? That is the father, that is the brother, maybe the uncle, if they don't have a father figure in the house, and maybe the mom or the big sister has gone out. How would you advise or even advocate for this male species to help these young girls? Because initially, if a young girl started her period and the father is in the house, the young girl would and will be, till to date, will be very shy, will be scared, because atashanga, kunaenda aje. You see? So what will be your response to the male species?
I would say, please educate yourselves. This is the time of information. There's so much information out there. There's social media. There are people talking about it in churches, everywhere. So there's so much information. This is not the time for us to be ignorant, truth be told. And we ought not to take this lightly, especially the male child, because right now, the level of single parenthood is so high. So chances of you being or raising your kids as a single parent are very high. I'm not advocating for divorce or something like that, but I'm just saying, in case you found yourself in that kind of a situation, please educate yourselves. It's not shameful to have periods. Periods are very normal. It's a very normal occurrence to a woman. So be there to help this kid. Also make your kids friends. As in, dads, don't be those stern type of dads that you come in the house and your kids are running away, especially, you know, those who come home maybe drunk and stuff like that. This kid will not come to you with a problem like that. So when you make them your friends, they'll feel the need to tell you, Dad, I'm going through this, and this. But before then, also just educate yourselves.
True. So how do you involve the community in your organization? Because yes, you have donors from around the world and even in Kenya here locally. How do you involve the community? If someone wants to come to your organization and help, if someone wants to just join you guys in one of your errands, how do you involve the community?
So we are open to volunteers. We've had so many volunteers. Currently, we also have volunteers. Our group is only 10 members who are registered, but we work with like a number like 20 or 25. Just people who come the time we've assembled the girls. We also use them to, you know, reach out to different, because they are the people living in those communities. They know the needs. They know the families that are more needful than the other. So we use them to like give word out that we have this kind of organization. This is what we do. So we are very open to people coming and joining us and just being part of what we do.
So we have been pleasant till now. Let's talk about the challenges you'll face. What is the biggest challenge your organization faces?
The biggest, I would say, is lack of funds, because we would love to have that consistency that we're giving out pads like every single month. These girls know they're provided for, but sometimes we fail because we lack funds to buy the pads. Because truth be told, PRCC, we are just human beings, and maybe the funds we're having are not enough given the current economic situation in Kenya. So the biggest challenge would be the funds, because sometimes we don't have funds to buy the pads, and we would really love to just be consistent, because having an engagement with these people is when you know their need, is when you know like how far you're supposed to go for them. But now you can not go that far without funds. Yeah.
So I have a question here. Let me just read it. It's from Facebook, from a lady who prefers to be anonymous, but she says that she is a teacher at a high school in Kiambu County, and she asks, what criteria do you use to distribute the pads your organization distributes to these girls, schools? What criteria do you use to distribute?
So like I said before, when we started, we did, at first we did door-to-door once, but now we assemble them in church. The whole large group just comes to church, and then we talk to them. Being that it's a church, we also talk to them about God, obviously. So we talk to them about mental health, God, a bit of just encouragement, and then we give them pads as they go. Yeah, so we've done door-to-door, and then we do, nowadays we just do mostly the giving them pads in the church.
So what are your future goals for Nazarene for She?
Future goals. We want to be so big, because we've gone around, I would say Kenya. We've gone outside Nairobi twice. So I would love for us to just extend a helping hand to girls all over Kenya. Just be a very big organization, so that we do so much for these girls in terms of maybe education, working with them to the very end. Being able to see them even prosper in the future will be a great add to the group. Yeah.
So let's just rewind a bit. I remember you saying that it was even absurd for the government to even consider taxing pads. So I think the aim, or what was behind that, is they argued that pads that are locally made were not to be taxed. Only pads that are being imported into the country are the ones which are going to be taxed. What is your view?
How many brands of pads do we actually import? I would ask, because they're not so many. If facts are to be considered, I would say it's only one brand. I wouldn't mention, obviously, because I don't want to advertise, but most of the pads we have are locally made. So the government ought to be truthful and tell us just the truth, because the pads that we have, at least all the brands that I know of, are the ones that are locally made.
So another anonymous person just goes by the word James.
Okay.
James23 so asks that his girlfriend, he once bought his girlfriend pads which she never used, and she never used to use that particular brand. So when she bought it, it had a reaction to her. So how sure are you the girls that you help, these particular pads you give them do not have a reaction? And considering they do not have another option, they will take it wholeheartedly because they have no other way to get these pads. How do you assist them? Because they will not be willing to tell you the pads that you gave me, I had a reaction to it, maybe a chemical that was used, or maybe a material. What is your view on that?
So interestingly, they do. Even in the last forum we had, they actually asked questions about how pads react and what could be the cause and everything. So we don't give out one brand. And as well, we've given out menstrual cups as a donation that we received from this particular person I told you who came to do her project here. So we don't give one brand, and if they have a reaction, we've made them friends in that they tell us everything they go through. Yeah, so they'll definitely tell us, and if they do, some of them we've given them the menstrual cups, and others we've given them tampons. So we make sure like we sort their problems fully.
So just like an insight, because I'm so sure there's someone who's totally clueless out there. We're talking about pads, and there's tampons, and then there's a menstrual cup, which is slowly coming up. It's a new concept here, but abroad it is constantly used.
Yeah.
So definitely they vary due to even price, etc. Would you be willing as an organization, or are you willing to even move as the organization grows? Are you willing to move to menstrual cups? Because I'm sure not everyone will be willing to use them. Maybe due to lack of ignorance, and when you umelelewa knowing ni pads too.
I know.
See, so as an organization and as you grow, would you be willing to even teach girls or young ladies that there are other options other than pads and tampons? Because even tampons, it's not a conversation that is spoken about.
Yeah, that's much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there progress in the future? Would you even tell these young girls, like later on in life, by the way, see pads, there are other options?
Interestingly, it's something we are doing currently, because every gathering we have of girls, we tell them about the different types of things they could use when they have their menstrual periods. And we have tampons, we have menstrual cup, we have pads that we showcase at that time and ask them if they've ever used menstrual cups, if they've ever used tampons. And now for us, we've received a donation of menstrual cups. And some of the girls we have are using the menstrual cups right now. So it's a conversation that we already started, not a conversation that we're looking to start in the future. So some of the girls are using the menstrual cups, others are using the tampons. Although, like you said, it's something foreign to them. So some of them are not really open to the idea of using menstrual cups and tampons. But the ones who've used the menstrual cups are actually saying they're really working for them. Although at first they had the fear they could just disappear.
Don't we all?
Yeah, so one of the girls said, I couldn't put on that cup for more than 2 hours. I had to go and check after every hour to see if I'm still safe. Yeah, so we gave her a reassurance that the menstrual cup can stay on for over 8 hours. If you don't have a heavy flow. If you have a heavy flow, you can maybe use it for like 6 hours, get it out, wash it with water without soap, and then you insert it back. So it's an idea they're actually gradually opening up to. Yeah.
And as your organization is absolutely doing an amazing job, what has been the most rewarding part of your work? What has you wake up in the morning and say, I will not even snooze my alarm because I need to get these pads for these young ladies?
Just seeing these girls open up to us and tell us what they've been going through and how we've come through for them and how we've impacted their lives and how they don't have to worry anymore about pads and all that. Because when we go to door, we choose a few homes that are very needy and we give them some foodstuffs as well. So just getting to put a smile on these people's faces is very, very rewarding. Yeah.
So, and what is your call to action to anyone and even everyone who's listening? What is your call to action?
Hey, the male gender, I would insist you need to really educate yourselves concerning period and period poverty and everything, because most of the girls, we've had stories of them going to school and being shamed by the male gender when maybe they have a leak, so they have to stay at home altogether. For those who are not in these maybe charity organizations, you could reach out to someone who's maybe your next door neighbor. You don't have to like be a part of Nazarene for. If you could, then we would appreciate. But if not, you could start by helping maybe your next door neighbor, whoever you're just close to. They might not actually come and tell you I'm lacking pads. It's like you said, some view it as something shameful. So make it maybe a routine for you when you're doing maybe your groceries, when you're doing your shopping at the end of the month. Just throw in a few packs of pads and give it to girls you see who are needy in the community. Yeah.
So even you said one of the biggest challenges you face is monetary.
Yeah.
Yes. So other than money value, what is one limitation your organization has? Have you gone to maybe a school planning to give them out, give them pads, and maybe the head of the school says, no, we do not accept that? Or what is the biggest limitation other than monetary value?
Other than monetary, I would say probably security, because some of the people we work with who are foreigners, you know, the slum areas are not very known for security and all that. So I would say security. But so far so good. We don't have any bigger challenge other than monetary. I would say the other challenge we have is them expecting so much from us, and we are able to do just so much because we give them pads, and when we go door to door, obviously someone sees you coming in with a mzungu, they expect you're going to give them money. You're going to give them money. So that's a challenge as well, because we don't come bearing gifts all the time. Sometimes we just want to give you pads, and when you expect so much from us and we are not able to meet that, obviously you go home feeling so bad about yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so please do tell our audience where we can find your organization, if anyone wants to come and volunteer, if someone wants to come and maybe kuchanga kitu kidogo. Yes, please do tell our audience.
Yeah, so our group is known as Nazarene for She. Nazarene for She is on all social media platforms. You search on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, just search Nazarene for She, you'll find us there. Street Lilies, we don't have social media platforms yet, but you can reach out to us via Nazarene for She, because the person who is in charge of Street Lilies is actually a person who is a part of Nazarene for She. So when you get to one of us, you will just have helped all of us. Even the other group that I'm part of, we are just from, I would say, the same church, but people come with different ideas. So when you come to me or go to Liz or go to Maureen, you'll be able to help all across the three organizations. Yeah.
Please do tell us even your handles. I'm so sure there's someone who's watching and wants to stalk you, you know?
Okay. Thank you.
Please do tell our audience.
So Beatrice Vike, like I mentioned before, apart from doing all the community work, I'm also a journalist. I've done radio for some time. Currently, I'm not in media. I'm doing admin HR. On social media, you'll find me as Beatrice Vike. I have a page known as Beatrice Vike, the presenter. Please do follow. Yeah, on TikTok, it's Vike Brie. On, I've said Facebook, yeah. Twitter is Beatrice Vike. Which other one? Instagram, still Beatrice Vike. No, Instagram is Brenda Vike.
Brenda. Okay.
Yeah. TikTok, yeah, Vike Brie.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So we have had an amazing interacting show here with Vike. I really like that name.
Oh, thank you.
I know.
And so unique. I know, yeah.
So we have had an amazing interactive show here at Empowerment Cafe. Thank you so much for joining us here. It has been interactive because we need even the mental space to deal with such issues.
Yeah, true.
Yes, absolutely. Please do keep the conversation going on all our social media platforms at Y254. See you in a few.